I love you, Eric.
I love cake.
Oh, we've all been there. Actually, embarrassingly, I have been there. I can't remember if it was from watching that line on, so we're doing that 70s show today, harking back to that. Been a long time since I've seen that. I can't remember if it was from watching that or whether they had that line in something else, but I've ended up doing exactly that. Oh, shudder and shame, but the passion of youth and the fears of youth. So let's see what happens to Eric now.
Eric, are you okay?
What? Yeah.
You look like you have a stomachache or something.
No. There's nothing wrong with my stomach. It's just that I love you. Man.
Couldn't take the pressure of that moment. So there, Eric tries to reply, but his anxiety is building up there, and so he ended up hitting a punchline there and trying to soften it. But in so doing, he's ended up upsetting Donna and not coming across as sincere. So here she is talking about him further there.
Great shot. And I love you.
Well, the basket doesn't really count because I traveled.
You could never travel. Because I love you.
Eric, you're acting like a huge dork.
A huge dork who loves you.
God, stop it. All right. Look, the only reason I said it is because I felt it. And not just so you'd say it back. And if I knew you were going to get in such a twist about it, I wouldn't have said it at all.
I'm not in a twist. It's just... Cake. Okay, that was pretty stupid.
Yes. Thank you. So, I mean, why'd you say it?
I don't know. I just... Now, once it is out there, if we broke up, I mean... You know, what would I tell myself then?
I guess you could tell yourself you still have cake. We both know how much it means to you.
And there Eric reveals the reason why he was feeling so much anxiety about it. He would be being completely vulnerable and open, and then if things didn't work out, then he's afraid about what he would feel at that point if he did say that he loved her. Now, if you yourself are suffering from anxiety and want a cutting-edge psychological process to help yourself through it, then I'll put a link for you to be able to click down in the show notes to take you through to how I can help. Now, unfortunately for Eric, this attempt at trying to protect himself ended up meaning that they broke up. And now he's dealing with the aftermath of that, with his mood being depressed down.
Fine. I'll just listen to AM. That's just cruel.
So it's a accentuated example of how we get this confirmation bias when we're down in the dumps and we're trying not to think about the thing that's got us depressed. Then same thing can happen when we're anxious, that it seems like that's everywhere. We see it everywhere because the brain's thinking about it. But poor Eric here, he's he's staying in bed because that's what his brain's going to tell him is the right thing to do. When we hit depressed mood, it brings us into a kind of a hibernation, right? Where we're just waiting for the hopelessness of the situation, where we feel like we can do nothing about it, waiting for that to blow over. And so what happens is our central nervous system gets depressed down, lowers our energy, literally pulls glucose and blood away from the muscles, so we feel tired, we feel exhausted, we feel like sleeping more, maybe eating less, and just staying away from anything. We don't feel like anything's enjoyable anyway, because pleasure and anything that would cause us to want to expend energy, that dries up to try and get us to stay where we can use less energy and just wait for things to improve. But with modern threats of a hopeless nature, that just tends to run in a cycle, what we call a vicious cycle in psychology, as it keeps feeding back into itself. Right? If he stays in his room, then he's not going to encounter anything enjoyable in life, and he's going to keep feeling depressed. So here his friends come to try and bring him out of it, take him along to a fun theme park.
Come on, Foreman, get out of bed.
Yes, we have to go to Funland before all the fun is gone.
I'm not going.
Foreman, man, snap out of it. So you had one of the hottest chicks in Point Place and you blew it. Could be worse. No, it couldn't. I mean, Eric, come on, it's not all bad. I mean, hey, think about Bob being your father-in-law. That guy being all your wedding pictures.
Look, guys, I don't want to talk about Donna. And I don't want to go to Funland.
Fine. If you're not going with us, we'll stay here with you. We're not going to Funland?
Don't touch the G.I. Joes. Hey, Eric,
Hey,
did you...
buddy.
Can we not talk? Thanks.
Fine, we're going to Funland.
Good. Go.
You know what? I'm glad you're not going to Funland because you will suck the fun right out of it. and then it would just be called Land. I'm sorry. I'll get you a candy apple, okay?
Yeah, it can be hard to know how to respond to depressed mood when you're a friend. You're trying to be a good friend, you might try and drag someone along to something that you know that they might enjoy because it takes their mind off the problem, but then they don't want to go. I mean, they're not feeling enjoyment of anything. So yeah, it can be a tough situation. And ultimately, it's going to be good for Eric to be able to get out and about. For right now, though, the depressed mood is caused by a grieving process, and he might need some time to digest that. And interestingly, we see his father, Red, be okay with this in this next scene.
So me and this girl Eloise were together for a while. Everything was great. But when things started getting serious, she dumped me. Man, that hurt like hell.
Did you cry?
No. No. But there were times when I thought I would never get over it. But time passed. I moved on. And then a day came when I didn't think about her as much. Then a couple more days came along and where I thought about her even less. And then one day I didn't think about her at all. And then that made me sad.
We've got a little Irish in us, don't we, Dad?
Yes, we do.
It's just... it hurts, you know?
Listen, I'm gonna give you a few days to pull yourself together. You can stay in bed and sleep, watch TV, whatever you need to do.
Thank you, Dad. And, you know, Not that it matters, but Donna didn't dump me. I broke up with her.
Whatever you need to tell yourself to make it better.
Almost a very special moment there. Well, I suppose it is still a very special moment with Red there, where he's actually being accepting of him. And that's the really helpful bit, where he's saying, look, take your time, do this, you're still an acceptable and loved person. That's the really important, but that's what you want to communicate. You don't want to be dragging someone out, telling them like, you're a terrible, lazy, good for nothing or something, or even accidentally communicating that to the person who's already going to be more readily thinking those negative thoughts with the state their brain's in. So that's the bit that's helpful. Unfortunately, he doesn't believe him there, but that's part of the humorous relationship between these two in this show. So that's him being more accepting there, so it's kind of a nice scene. And next we've got them hunting together, where there's again some more interesting developed relationship between those two.
Okay. I think you're angry because life didn't turn out exactly the way you wanted it to. And maybe you think if you yell at me, I won't let life push me around too.
Well, hell, Eric, maybe you'll be okay.
So there, Red is actually thinking that he will be okay. Turns out he had been pushing him around to get him to be all right in life, to be tougher, so in some cases it sounded like that worked out for Eric, being able to get some exposure to his fears, and in other cases it didn't. It actually accentuated his nervousness and sense of self-worth because of thinking that Red viewed him in a negative way as weak or something like that. And so that's part of the overall baggage or package that Eric's going to be taking with him into adulthood. Be interesting to see what happened there, but of course the show closes off as shows are wont to do. But if you yourself are having some baggage that is causing some anxiety and you want to be able to work through that, then again I'll put a link down below to our cutting edge psychological process that can help you to not only overcome that, but in fact turn anxiety into a kind of superpower for yourself. Now we do these reaction videos every couple of weeks, so do subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified when the next one pops up. I do hope that you enjoyed me checking out that 70s show with you today.